Alright, so hopefully, well, that was loud. Let me turn that down slightly, there we go. 0 decibels, right. We're just about to start our descent into Tivat, actually round about now. Kepler is 104 miles before Mammal. So there's our 3-degree glide path from the flag where I said we go to flight number 380 down to 5,000. At 3 degrees takes 104 miles, so we've just started that descent now. The approach itself is not too crazy. There is another approach, a circling visual approach at Tivat runway 14. However, if we look at the wind, we can see that runway 14 would not be advisable. We're going to take 3-2.
From the point deck, ladies and gentlemen, as we have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for a ride.
Okay. So basically we're coming in over crossing now, and then we will be following that up by Montenegro via Podgorica, the capital city, and then descending down to Tivat, which is somewhere on the coast here. So we zoom in a little bit more. Tivat's here, so the approach takes us basically along this ridge here. Now the circling approach is also quite fun. You turn left over here, come over the mountains around the bay, we're stuck over here now. You can see some clouds and the Runway Mountains as well, the Balkan Mountains, which is, funny enough, the reason why the place has got this name, the Balkans. It's a bit hilly, shall we say. Right, so I'm just going to turn up the brightness on my displays here so I can actually see what's going on. Medium auto brake for this approach, seatbelt signs and so on. 50 so yeah, so I'm just going to say sit back and enjoy the descent for now, and then at some point come back and do the initial approach, final approach and landing. so we're just going to pop in some destination data now. So we've got wind 350 at 11 gusts of 22, so 350 and 11 gusts of 22, so roughly between the two, so let's say 18 knots. No, 17 knots would be better. Okay. 17, QNH is 1014. Temperature 6 degrees Celsius, no significant changes, clouds and visibility, okay. Let's go onto the chart quickly, so I'm just going on to the AIP website. Now, the missed approach altitude is 1220 of sea level, so 1220, that's what we want to be visual. Now, the airport itself is at sea level, so 100 feet. So it's quite a late missed approach point, but it's about 3 miles final. We need to be visual by that point, otherwise we're going to make a left turn heading 199 direct to DSOL, and then we start a 157 degree radial out of DSOL to intercept the QDM 008 from TAS, so that's the 008 degree inbound radial to the TAZ VOR, and then back onto a base leg at Lasty, and then another final approach. So that's the missed approach procedure. You can see the coastline coming up here, the Adriatic Sea ahead. We're still coming in over the mountains now. We've got 50 something miles to go, 47 miles to Tivat, and 41 miles is the start descent. So we're going to be level off 4 miles before there. I'm going to slightly slow the descent back down just to 2.8 and synchronise that there, so that's 43 miles. That'll be fine because we've got a bit of a, you can see that's not going to be directly 43 track miles, it's going to be some triangle effect here. Mountains are quite lovely, aren't they? It's almost like going in over the Alps. These, I suppose, are the Alps of Montenegro. So we're still nicely descending over. We've got quite nicely unbumpy flying conditions, particularly coming in over the Alpine region. Now, Mammal is at 14,000. Sorry, 4,000. 5,000 even. And then we descend down to 2,600 from pressure by feet. Gradient on that is going to be a lovely 3.2 degree glide path. Now let me see if I can add a window capture. Chrome, there we go. There we go, so in here we can now see the chart here. So we're coming into Mammal, which is 20.3 miles away. At 5,000, descending to 4,000, make our way to gooood on a nice right turn. Gooood, descend down to 2,600 for TAS, as seen here, 2,600 TAS, 7.3 miles from Tivat. We then start a descent at 3.2 degrees and follow that down until we get to 3 miles from Tivat, and that is basically our missed approach point, 3 miles apart, and that's at, we could say 170 actually, we could do a 5% climb. So 170. We're changing to 70. 650 feet down. lake that you're seeing next to the This is Mont Lorica International Airport. Okay, so this is Mont Lorica, which is the main international airport of the area. We're going to be then turning left, going along the coast here, turning right. Marker, absolutely not. Cisterns, points of interest, fauna, yes, that's fine, because I like finding where those things are going to be. Notifications, so it should be off. User experience, jet pilot on Quebec. Hello, what is the jet? Maybe there's protocols too. So we've got that random marker there. I do wonder what it is. Normally those don't come up at all for me, so maybe this will indeed. It should tell us how full that actually is. Let's get closer. So 8,000 at Podgorica. This is pretty standard approach routing, I would suppose. We're going to turn left now, so we're going to be going somewhere off over there. Here's Podgorica International Airport. So let's check one second. It's not that big. Lovely view over the fields here, blending into the mountains. Obviously the snowy roads and the cleared up fields, so it makes complete sense. Flying Swiss, I know this isn't so realistic that Swiss would be flying from Istanbul to Tivat without going via Zurich, but Skader Lake geese, there we go, so there's some geese down there. And the reason why I put 4 mornings on was because, well yeah, what if I fly into a flock of geese? That would be very bad. I'd have to land on the Hudson. We don't want that. So we're still just heading down to 4,000, 5,000 feet. A bit of a line here. This is not Google Maps. I'm just using. In Europe, the Bing imagery is perfectly fine, so I just use that. But you can see some excessively green bits over here. This looks lovely though. It's in the cockpit now. You should be setting the local QNH, which was 101. We've got 16 miles to mile, 2,000 feet to descend. Now my only problem is I hope that this is going to be adequate clearance, because I'm seeing a mountain ahead. We should be fine. It does say mammal descend to 4,000, so there we go. What's the minimum safe altitude? 6,300. So maybe I'll just stop the line at 6,300 until we're within 25 miles of Taz. Day only, that's why I've had to do simulated daytime, because I'm not going to be landing here at night time. Missed approach time limit to 185 knots max. Okay, that's fine. And here we go, 3.2 degree glide path after Taz. Oh no, it's done that thing again. You can see now, look at this. Absolutely ridiculous bit of business. Everything else is absolutely fine except for that. Should be using the experimental version. Bumps. It's good when we're flying a localiser approach because it means going to start to set down to 4,000 feet. Let's reduce the speed further. 4 minutes to approach phase. I'm going to ignore this ridiculous PFD lag. No idea why that is.
2,500.
Lovely mountains, we're nice and safely above them, so now we're going to start turning right and descending to 4,000 feet. We're on an open descent, so that'll be as speed comes down.
2,500.
Lovely. Having in, let's put on all the lines. Tivat traffic, Swiss 45 Tango, inbound Mammal for the localiser 320 approach. Okay, so 20 miles away from Tivat, so we can start our descent properly now. So there's 5,000 feet, descending now down to 4,000 by gooood, and then 2,600 by Taz. At Taz, 3.2 degrees takes us down to the missed approach point at 1,070 feet, and then we'll proceed visually from there. This is now the right turn, taking us towards town of Tivat. Swiss there, look at that lovely shadowing. Next step. Be a good idea to stand on the engine, would it? Right, we're now inbound gooood at 4,000 feet. Perfectly adequate. We need to be 210 knots by then, so I'm going to reduce the flaps 1 speed now. That time should have been a while ago, but these things do get overlooked every now and then. Oh Jesus, I've had that flipping chart up the whole time. There we go, get rid of the chart. That's better. What have I been talking? Like 20 minutes with the chart, just picked up. Anywho, you can all laugh at me if you want. 20 minutes. 10 of them with the chart up. Nobody's been able to see anything. Great. Right, so the approach is now afoot. And gooood, it's at 4,000. Taz, it's at 2,600. We've got about 8 miles to descend, so that's fine. We're doing a 3.2 degree glide path. We're going to keep it in track mode. So there's 3.12. And set the altitude to 2,600, which is 1,300 below, so that's fine. Let's do flaps 2, and speed down to 60 knots. Start that descent now. The key is we just need to make sure that we arrive at Taz at 2,600. That will mean that we have plenty of time to manoeuvre. So sorry for the chart. No, it was a very interesting chart. Kind of quick things, I guess. Established on the localiser, so we can actually switch over to lock mode because we want to be flying the localiser rather than the other thing. Oh no. Setting to 2,600 by Taz. No, Taz, I'm going to drop the gear down. I'm going to do the flying direction. Engine spooling. I needed to use the speed brake at all for this, which is quite nice. 12 miles to go. And as you can see, it is a little bit of an extreme approach in some respects. The runway is there. So we'll be coming in down this valley, turning left and landing the runway. Now, the other approach is also interesting. We descend down to Taz, we turn left, we go over these mountains and around and land that way, which I did do an EasyJet with absolutely non-visual conditions, which was
2,500.
appropriately spicy. The PFD's now gone back to normal. We've got normal descent rates, so we can actually read everything off now, so that is nice for a change. So now at Taz, we've got 3 miles to go until Taz, which should take us down to 7 DME on the localiser. So that is going to be when I'm going to drop the gear down. I give the control of the speed over to the aircraft now and put flaps free in. Use flaps full for the approach. It's a tricky approach. We want to be going relatively slowly, so we've got more time to manoeuvre. Especially on that final part. Let's make a left turn onto final. As you can see here, it's a visual segment after ML32, which this whole bit here is basically all visual. Okay, Taz is 1.9 miles away. Flaps free set flaps full. The aircraft is fully stable before I start the approach, so we have no discrepancies from flaps coming down or anything like that. Okay, 1 mile to go, drop the gear. So fully configured, and we can just directly start at 3.2 degree descent. There's a bit of wind blowing us around. 0.4 miles to go, it's at 3.2, and demand the aircraft does it. Okay, Mr. Plane, down we go. Brake fan. Nobody says. Okay, we're now descending on the glide path. Well, it's not really a glide path, but you can see the aircraft. The aircraft's doing its thing. It's just doing its normal thing. What am I talking about? We're descending. We're aiming for the missed approach point. We're going to make a left turn, and that's going to bring us onto short final. And at that point, we obviously have to land. You can see I've got 2 whites, 2 reds already, so I'm visual with the runway. Quite happy with the approach so far. I'm going to let it go down to missed approach, and then I'll take it. Flying the aircraft, although considering we are completely visual, visual 5 wheels, so spin it to the right slightly and actually get a nice long final. Five knots wind coming in now. We're off the localiser, but we're visual, so that's no problem. The wind is still advertised as free firm 0 degrees at 11 against 22, so expecting all sorts of crazy things to happen once we get past this mountain here, which is probably another part of the approach that will be tricky. The mountains obviously play pretty big role in dulling out some of the winds. So I imagine that's going to be coming from the right hand side of the valley there. Okay, we're visual with the field. I can see 1 happy light, so I'm going to reduce the descent climate. Reduce the descent
1,000.
slightly.
100 above.
Yeah, landing, continue.
Minimum.
It builds the wind. 9, 8 knots. Just to get us back on. There's the gusts coming in. I can see the aircraft sort of. There's the wings going up and down.
$500.
Okay, 500 feet. Keep that descent rate positive. The wind is playing a little bit of havoc with my judgment. This is looking good.
400.
15 knots directly from the right. Jack is climbing over there. Tivat traffic, Swiss 45 Tango short flight on runway 32.
300.
Some traffic. Okay, looking good.
100. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Touchdown. there's something flying around in the bay at 1900. Seems to be another bunch of animals over there as well. Let's brake and take this exit here. 12 knots. Turning right. Ground spares in there, ready for welcoming. Landing rate was 51 feet per minute at 126 knots with a 43-degree wind at 11 knots. So that's direct crosswind. You can see the windsock there, making what I call quite a smooth landing. So that's trick 30, reverse, retard the throttles at 30, and then at 20 or so, you start flaring and you just hold it off. You just shift your viewpoint from the aiming point to the end of the runway and just hold the end of the runway in nice bits of view. So we're going to take stand 5 here. No idea how these work. I think we just spin all the way around. Marshal to the right, 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 to the right. Smidgen forwards. And cut. Right, seems to be no equipment in this airport. Never mind. I wonder what that is over there, so let's see if we can go and check it out with the high-speed zoom camera. Free camera. Drone. Drone speed, super fast. Go. Come on, look at those waves, lovely waves. Seagulls. So it is fauna. But what a lovely approach that was. Very enjoyable. And the circle to land is also interesting as well.